back to Season 2 of the Rocket Coaches Corner. I'm Hayden Swope, and we are pleased today to be joined by boys basketball coach Josh Shirley. How are you doing today, Coach?
Good. It's good to be here. Happy to be able to talk to you guys.
All right, so let's get right into it. We know you have some key returning starters this year. What strengths are you seeing from them so far?
Leadership is a big one from our guys. We've got 3 guys who started a lot of basketball games for us last season, and that leadership is kind of, you can't even quantify how important it is. And then we've got a couple other guys who saw some varsity minutes, so that should be very helpful to them as we try to integrate them and get some more minutes out of them. But overall, anytime return, 3 guys who average roughly 60 to 65% of our scoring. It's very helpful early in season to have that to be able to lean on.
So you just recently finished up tryouts. Have you really seen any underclassmen step up?
We have a really big sophomore class, which is really good. They're really deep. They have a lot of really good players. And the growth from them as freshmen to sophomores has been pretty exponential. They know the system. They know how to work. So there's been several sophomores who really have shown that growth and shown that maturity, because once you go from freshman to sophomore, you're now practicing with our varsity guys. The tempo gets a little bit faster, practice gets a little bit more intense, a little bit more chaotic maybe, and they've handled that real well early on. So we're really encouraged, especially by that sophomore class and how they're taking that leap. And then, the freshmen, they're learning, they're jumping in. It's a big learning curve. We talk about you go from middle school where you had a 6-week season or so. Now they're trying to hop in and learn our system, learn our ways. And it's always a big adjustment period, but they're doing very well adjusting to everything that's new to them.
Okay, well, we know you have a long season ahead of you, but you have a few games before Christmas. How do you feel about that schedule, and what tough games are we going to be looking at?
It's always interesting early in the year because you don't really know what everybody has returning. You have a general idea, but it's tough to really gauge where teams are until you see them live. I mean, Garden Plain's always a tough place to go and play at. They're a smaller school, but they always give us challenges. They lost a lot, but they always seem to play us pretty tough. Then we've got a couple teams that we haven't played. We haven't played Nickerson yet. So that'll be a interesting game to see. And then you've got Chanute. Chanute's going to be a very, very good basketball team. I know they're in southeast Kansas, so people around here don't really know how good they'll be. But they're going to be a very solid basketball team. I'm guessing they'll compete in the top half of the SEK this year. Then you got Mulvane on the schedule, which is always going to be a tough one, no matter what. I always say throughout the records when you play Mulvane, it's going to be a rivalry, it's going to be a battle, and we go to their place before Christmas. So there's a slate of tough games for us that we're going to be ready and focused and ready to play.
The program got some upgrades this year. The boys got new jerseys. Does that really spark a fire for them this season?
I think so. We try to, and we always say we try to treat them the right way. We try to keep things current, keep things fresh. This year, I gave them some options. So I let the team, the returners, pick from a few options of uniforms because I'm not the one that's wearing them. They are. So I let them take a look, and they found the Jordan brand style. It's really seemed to be something they wanted to wear. So anytime that we can, we like to make the upgrades possible in our program, especially if they help raise the funds, they help do all the things they do. So we want to reward them the right way. So I do think that they're fairly excited about those. And like I said, there's something they picked. So that's the benefit of it.
The jerseys aren't the only upgrades that you're getting this year. The student section will finally get to make a return this year. How do they affect the game?
It was really weird last year. You go into gyms that are quiet, you go into gyms where people are not sitting close to each other, and then all of a sudden we got to see what a student section was like when we went into the Augusta State game. So I'm excited to have our own student section again, and excited to have some energy back in the building. You get some cold Tuesday nights, cold Friday nights through January and February, and sometimes you need some fire from the crowd to spark you a little bit. And I do think we even lacked that. Basketball just wasn't quite as intense last year because up until fourth game of the year, we were playing in front of nobody. So we're very excited to be able to get people back into the building, back into being able to feel the pageantry and how basketball is supposed to be.
All right, well, thanks for joining us today, Coach. That's all the time we have for today. Be sure to tune in next week when I sit down with girls basketball coach Jenny Page. I'm Hayden Swope, and I'll see you next time on the Rocket Coaches Corner.